Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Series 17 of Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. This is the sketch today, and this is a sketch I created. I am going to follow it pretty closely, except I'm going to do my yellow on the reverse side. It's kind of just rotated. And these are the things I'm considering using. I thought I'd use those tickets, but I don't end up using them. But I am going to use these two yellow pieces. I know I'm flipping through everything really fast. And then I have this weird, it's not paper, I don't know what it is. It is like, um, I don't know. It's got a texture to it. It's plasticky, but it's not plastic. I don't know what, well, maybe it is plastic, but I don't know what it is made out of. My son brought home a bunch of this from his work way back when he worked for a company that made like the sneeze guards and stuff during COVID. And so he brought home some of these pieces, and so I have this, and then I've decided I'm going to go ahead and use it because I think it looks great. I was kind of looking for something to put behind this big starburst, and as I was looking through my specialty papers, I came across that and thought, I'm going to use that, and right below it was that piece that has all the words on it, which is also a kind of plasticky piece. And so I'm going to put that underneath it because I really liked how it looked. So yeah, that's my plan at this point. And so I'm going to trim it down. It's rather thick. This is going to be a really thick layout. Not thick as in dimension-wise, but it's kind of heavy because these pieces are heavy. And so I'm going to use some glue dots to hold them in place. I did ink up a secondary piece of white paper to have a black edge, which the reason I did that rather than using a piece of black paper is because I wanted the white behind those words so that they show through that red burst. And I thought that was kind of the best way to do that because I couldn't obviously use a black piece because then my words wouldn't show. So I trimmed down that top piece of paper just about, I don't know, a little less than 1/4 of an inch on each side, so that I get that nice black reveal. I've also backed my photos with some black photo mats, and I think it's going to work really, really well. Here is, I thought I was going to show you that piece with all the words on it. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out the orientation of everything before I cut up that piece with the words, and so I'm trying to figure out where my photos are going to go. They are going to go on the left-hand corner instead of the right-hand corner, and the cut file was something I just created on my silhouette for this specifically. It wasn't something I had in my stash or anything like that, and yeah, I just cut it specifically for this layout. I kind of had this idea in mind, and I have these two photos of the little guy I take care of, and he had gotten some hand-me-downs from one of their friends that has a little boy a little older than him. And so he got this black leather jacket, and he's actually has some black boots on as well. Not cowboy boots, more like leather high top Converse style. I don't know if that makes any sense, but he's got those on, and he looks like a little boy, you guys. He doesn't look like a baby in this outfit. So I figured, you know, this would be a good one to do a little superhero layout because he's looking like a little man instead of like a little baby. That's my thinking. I did go around all of the little points here with this same stencil. This is a really old one from the Crafters Workshop. I don't know if it's still available, but it kind of gives you those halftone dots spreading out from the edge of the stencil. So they kind of get smaller and further apart, and they're not lined up perfectly, so it kind of gives you that comic book kind of a feel to it, which I thought was perfect. So here is where you can see all of those words behind. I am going to trim that down just to try to get rid of some of the bulk behind my actual layout, just because you know, I was being silly here. I was trying to line up the cutout so that I can trace around it. So I can trim this down and not have quite as much bulk. And also then I can get the words in the two smaller openings where I want them. But I set that cutout piece right on top of my layout, which was super not helpful. Yeah, I can't trace around it when it's on top of the thing that everything is going under. So yeah, that was me being silly. But this is going to allow me to use those little excess pieces to align everything so that I can have some words in those two smaller windows. And again, I am using glue dots to hold everything in place because it just feels like that's going to hold the best on these plasticky surfaces. They're very pliable plastic. I don't really know what they are. I'm not sure what that red is used for, although I do think I had it in blue as well at one point, and I think somebody used it for like a nightclub wall. I don't know what that yeah, I don't know. Um, I obviously don't have a nightclub in my house, so I was not using it for that. But it's very interesting stuff. When you rub your fingernails across it, it kind of makes like a scratchy noise because it does have a texture to it. But it looks really cool, and I like the way this layout ends up looking using it. Um, but I think it's going to be really hard to reproduce unless you do some mixed media or maybe some vellum or something. I don't know, red vellum. So anyway, yeah, it's an interesting effect. So here I'm just trimming these pieces down because I want to make sure I don't cut them too short, but I want to make sure that I don't add a whole lot of thickness to my layout because like I said, this has already got, it's not thick as, like I said, it's not thick, it's just heavy because there's a lot of this weight. So I'm liking how that's looking. I am going to keep the rest of the layout really simple. I'm not adding any more mixed media or anything, although I could, some black splatters would probably look really nice. But at this point, I'm afraid I might kind of mess it up. I did go around my black edge with a double sketchy line of white to give it kind of that comic book look of being hand drawn. And then I am going to go around my photos with a black line, and I am going to go around the entire layout with a black sketchy line also. So I'm really going in with a lot of sketchy lines to kind of make it feel a little less perfect, I guess. And I'm liking how that's looking. It's really not super in your face or obvious, but in person you can see it. So, oh, I forgot I totally went around the photos with a white sketchy line also, just to create more of a framework and a little bit, have a little bit of a cartoony look to it. So while I do that, don't forget there are a bunch of people playing along with 30 Days of Sketches. There is a playlist down below where you can go and check out all of the links for people using this sketch and all the prior sketches. They'll all be in there in one spot, so you can go and check that out if you're interested in that. I hope that you enjoy this sketch and feel free to modify it to fit your photos if you decide to use it, and have a lot of fun with it. So I do have this cut apart sheet. This is from, I think it's Going Places. I think that's what it's called, from Cocoa Vanilla. So I am pulling out some of these yellow pieces because I want to add the yellow, since I've got the yellow in the little edge there. Could have actually pulled in gray and done that edging in gray also, because that's a very comic book type of a thing to do. And then I am taking some more black distress ink straight to these pieces that were cut out to create my background, and I'm going to reuse those or use those instead of having them go to waste, to create a couple more splotches, and I really like that. I did not waste that ink that was on my desk. I picked it up with a separate piece of paper, just a small photo mat, so that I have kind of like a grayish look, a grayish marbly looking paper, and I can use that at another time. I rarely ever waste the ink when I use this technique of inking up other pieces of paper with my ink pad. So here's where I'm going to just go around the entire photograph with my black pen, and this time I'm using my Sharpie. I don't know why I didn't use my Muji pen, but oh, I used the Sharpie because I need to go across that plasticky stuff. That's why. And my Muji pen is not going to write on that, so I needed something that was going to be visible there, and the Sharpie, fine Sharpie was the answer. So here's where I'm going to go ahead and add my little journaling spot, and keeping most of my embellishments centered right around my photographs rather than anywhere else. I will put a couple little pieces in the upper right hand corner just to give it a little bit of balance and bring the yellow up across there. But otherwise, I'm keeping it pretty simple. And I did cut off the excess little points that are going to be hidden because I thought I might use those up in the corner, but they don't end up making it up there. They just didn't feel like there was a big enough piece of them that it would make any big difference. So I just decided not to use those. I do have these stickers from one of the other Cocoa Vanilla collections. I can't remember what collection it is from, maybe Boys Rule. And I'm using the piece that says Fun Times. And then I'm using this other little black strip, which I can't remember what that says. It'll be in the close-ups though, so stick around for the close-ups because you're going to see those coming up before too long. And then lastly, I'm going to add some of these little pointy clear stars to just around the clusters here. I felt like it just needed a little something extra, and I don't have any. I have regular stars, but I felt like these little pointy ones worked better, and I only had 3, so that's where they're going, and that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. As always, I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Again, I am still behind in responding, so bear with me, and I will respond as quickly as possible. If you enjoyed this one, I hope you hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. I hope that you get tons of inspiration by checking out that playlist that is down below. I will be back again in a couple days with another video, so come back and see me on Thursday. You can hit the bell for notifications if you'd like to be notified when I release a new one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.